Hey, quick shout out to Dark Snowfall for creating the visuals for this show, I guess. Enjoy the video. Hello and welcome back to my podcast. It is... Is anyone here? Nope, it's still only me. It's been another time period since the last one, admittedly, and I acknowledge that. There's been a lot developing, and I just keep putting off making a new episode until inevitably now, when there's so much to talk about. Not really. Well, we'll see. But there's so much to talk about, and I've got to cover it all. So, first, in the last episode of my podcast, I addressed the Challenger Hemi, or the SRT Hemi 6.2 liter, however you want to call it, being discontinued because Chrysler is Chrysler and they don't know what they're doing. Well, recent reports have suggested that a final version of the Hellcat, named, well, the Hellcat Finale, is coming out for the Challenger. There's no status on whether or when it's coming out. What we do know, allegedly, per the report, is it still has a rear-wheel drive in V8, but the V8 has been upgraded to be the most powerful Challenger yet at 903 horsepower. That's a lot. And it should be a lot. The Demon, the previous most powerful Challenger, made 804 horsepower. And it currently holds the drag record 0 to 60 time of a petrol engine at 2.4 seconds from 0 to 60. So I'm really interested to see what the Finale does in terms of not the 60, how it drives, more importantly how low of gas mileage it can get, because its main competition is the Bugatti Veyron doing 4 miles to the gallon, and the Range Rover Discovery doing 8 miles to the gallon. So that'll be real fun to see. Now, moving on. There's been a few new hydrogen cars that have come out. I'm not sure if I talked about it previously, but the Hyperion XP1. You may laugh at the name, including XP, because haha, funny game reference. No, it's a hydrogen car that is supposed to have a power level equivalent to a Bugatti Veyron. However, unlike Bugatti Veyron, it allegedly has 1,000 miles of range on a single tank of hydrogen, which is outstanding. Of course, like all the other hydrogen cars, it is still heavily in development because hydrogen infrastructure is not there yet. And hydrogen technology in cars generally is not well understood because of the preference for crappy, horrible, unreliable, deteriorating, awful EVs. There's also the Renault hydrogen combustion that was unveiled a few months ago. Basically, what it originally was, I don't know why Renault changed it. It was originally unveiled as a combustion engine, like the Hemi I just mentioned, but powered by hydrogen instead of the explosions from... So instead of the explosions from petrol exploding, it would instead be powered by chemical explosions of hydrogen exploding, if that makes any sense. However, when the car was actually revealed, they revealed it as another hydrogen battery, which is dumb, because the whole point of its unveil was it's a hydrogen combustion engine, which has yet to be properly done, and it's very cool. Granted, the Hyperion is supposed to be hydrogen combustion, but it's still heavily in development, and we've only seen a few pictures of it. We have not seen the actual car yet, unlike the Renault. There was also the recent hydrogen Hyundai, what was it called? The Hyundai Envision 74 is a new one. It was unveiled alongside the RN22E, which we don't care about because it's an electric. The Hyundai is actually the Envision is actually a very cool story because it's a remake of an old Hyundai back from the 70s called the Pony. Now, basically, the Pony was a line of Pony itself was a line of Hyundai sedans and all that. However, the specific Hyundai was a Pony was a concept car that was meant to be a sports coupe with a rear engine. However, it never saw the light of day and ultimately was hidden away in Hyundai. Granted, it would actually serve as the original concept for the DMC DeLorean, which is something we'll get into later. For the original DeLorean, it was actually heavily inspired by the Hyundai Pony concept, which is very cool. And the reason I'm bringing up that is because the NSF Vision 74 is very clearly a remake of that car, and it looks absolutely outstanding. I love this thing, and the fact that it's hydrogen is even better. Granted, it is another hydrogen battery concept, but we can put that out of the way because it's got rear-wheel drive. That is outstanding. You would not believe the amount of battery or motor cars that do not have rear-wheel drive when they absolutely should. It's great. In my notes, I have that Mazda was working on a hydrogen rotary engine, but I can't find anything about it. So I'll probably insert that into editing if it's actually true, or if I was just tripping when I wrote this. Moving on, we now have... There's been a lot of EV news. As much as I trash on EVs, they do have their good talking points. The Rimac Concept 1, the Rimac Concept 2 / Navara, the... Yeah, there's not a lot of good EVs. The new Lexus LFA EV successor, the Hispano-Suiza Carmen, and recently my new favorite EV, the Toyota Compact Cruiser. It is supposed to be a third coming of the FJ Land Cruiser, or the FJ40, or whatever you want to call it, from back in the 70s, and a remake of the more recent FJ, whatever it was, I don't know, just FJ I think it was. That was an absolute sales failure for Toyota, but the Compact Cruiser is a new take on it that I actually really like, and it makes sense as an EV, because it's not meant, unlike the old Land Cruisers, it's clearly not meant to be a dedicated off-roader. You take this into hell and beyond. This is just meant to do some light off-roading like trails or whatever. And that makes sense because EVs are not meant for going far out into the forest or down into the deep of the rural America. Right? So it makes sense, is what I'm saying. Or trying to say, anyways. Now for the rest of the EV news, there's been price hikes in Tesla and other EVs. The Tesla Model 3 has recently been raised to $60,000 for a base Model 3, while the Model S and X have reached over $100,000, and the X in particular is having major issues with delivery, so you'll be waiting. They're currently projecting it's until 2023 to receive a new Model 3 if you purchase it right now. So that's fun. Oh yeah, and the Model Y now costs $80,000. What? The Ford Mach-E has recently had a fair few issues and events happen. The first of which being the largest recall of them in history. There have already been 2 recalls for the Mach-E. The first one was with 17,500 units about the windshields falling out, which was hilarious. I think I talked about that in my previous episode, but I don't know. The current recall, though, is because at some point the Mexican production plant where they're building this, because Mexican build quality, there's a issue where the wire connecting the battery to the motors can sometimes disconnect and the car will just shut off mid-drive. So that's fun. The order books recently closed for the Mach-E. We don't know if they'll reopen next year. Possibly the Mach-E might be going away. Who knows? I really wish it does. I hate this thing with a burning passion. Everything about it. Not even the fact that it's an insult to the Mustang. Just everything about it just annoys me and burns to the brim. The Chevrolet Corvette E-Ray has recently been spotted testing around the Nürburgring along with other Corvettes. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because the E-Ray is... There's been a long-running controversy among the Corvette community because Chevrolet has teased making an electric and hybrid Corvette, and which is not a very celebrated idea, should I say. Because the whole point of a Corvette is that it's rear-wheel drive V8, and now Chevrolet's wanting to do an all-wheel drive electric car and a twin-turbo V8 for the ZR1 instead of the supercharged V8. It's just, it's not fun. It's also been rumored that this will be the final V8 Corvette before it goes fully electric, which is sad. Anyways, now, the new DeLorean, I talked about it a few minutes ago, and that was for good reason, because, oh lord, this thing is awful. If you were among the poor few that saw it when it was first unveiled, you might know why I hate it, and it's because it does absolutely nothing right. What is this thing? It's like they took a look at the DeLorean and decided to change up every single thing about it because, oh lord, oh no, it doesn't look like, we need to change it. Oh, sharp lines that make it iconic and are what it's styled after? Well, we need to get rid of that. Oh, and that PRV V6? We can't have that either. We need to give it an electric motor and all-wheel drive. Oh, and the only thing we're going to keep is the gull-wing doors. And we're going to make it a 5-seater because why not? Oh, we're also going to give it a completely different headlight, so that way we can't recognize it from previous car, but we're still going to call it a DeLorean. Yeah, this car sucks. Even the DeLorean family has gone after it. Recently, Cat DeLorean, who was John DeLorean's daughter, has recently gone after the company about how they are not actually allowed to use the DeLorean name, which has been a long-running controversy between the DeLorean family and this alleged DeLorean, which is actually not affiliated with the original DeLorean company. But it's been a long-running issue, and this may lead to hopeful legal action. Maybe. I'm hoping so. Come on, Cat, you can do it. Do us all a favor and shut this horrible thing down. You've got my full support and probably a lot of the car community too. The Lucid Air, my least favorite, well, my second least favorite SEV, has been recalled. More than 1,000 of them have been recalled, which is estimated to be twice as many as have been delivered. This time it's for, let's see, improperly secured instrument cluster display wiring harnesses that prevent the panel from functioning properly. Should that happen, the screen won't be able to look how fast you're going. Yeah, this is what I don't like. Can I just vent for a second? I don't like this style of dashboard. Why do you need this many screens? What is the steering wheel? Why is it so... Why are the letters embedded into the wheel to the point where you can see the leather bending? Like, no, not bending, just like uncomfortable. What are these seats, too? What on earth is this ridge? I don't like anything about this car. Why does this armrest reach over... What? Does that flip up? If that flips up, why is this here? If that slides out, why is this here? You're still going to not be able to slide it all the way open. Why does this look like wood that's not wood? What is this car? And why does this glass look like that? This looks awful. I hate everything about this. I hate these invisible, like the floating, what's it, sunshades. Why? Like, add a line. Right, you can make this so much better by just adding a line that separates it so the sunshades are actually connected to something instead of just sheer glass. You know what happens when you get in a wreck? You're going to get cut so badly, you're going to look more like a bag of meat than anything else. Because this entire car is made of glass. The screens are glass, probably. The seats are... I can guarantee you this is probably the least comfortable thing to sit in because of this. And then the screens. I don't know what it is with companies where they believe that screens are everything. I believe this was also in the Cadillac Lyric. Speaking of which, has also been price hiked. Discounted. Yes, this. Why is this a trend in automobiles? Just to have a massive screen that overarcs. I do not like this. And then there's this. You don't need this many screens in a car. Did the designers go, oh, heaven forbid we actually allow our customers to go 2 seconds without staring at a screen. Haha. Why? Just build them like you used to. There's no point in this. 33-inch, oh, you don't need a 33-inch display in a car. Most of the time your eyes are going to be on the road, and most of the time you're not going to have anyone in the car because no one's going to want to ride with you because you're driving the most Audi-ish Cadillac you could possibly imagine. Anyways, the Rivian R1T is also facing issues. There's two issues currently going on with the Rivian. There's sexual assault lawsuits towards the owner of Rivian, and deliveries of the Rivian R1T. Pre-orders have been open for a long time, and they're really struggling to deliver them, which is good because it means I don't have to look at this abomination on the road too often. They have 2 plants open, but somehow they can't in Normal, Illinois. That was followed by CEO RJ Scarorange alleging that favoritism led to a lack of semiconductors. No, it was because Nvidia is the biggest scumbags to ever exist, which is something I'll get into later, but anyways. The R1T has been having issues with a while because Rivian was really not set to deliver as many as they did. 67,000, that's way too much. You can buy a Ford Maverick for 35,000. Get out of here, Rivian. Along with the EV recalls and discontinuations like the Chevrolet Bolt and the Ford Mach-E, there's also been a series of EV discoveries. Recently, there were 2 studies by the NPAA of Europe and the recent study by Emissions Analytics about how EVs are not environmentally friendly. The study by Emissions Analytics finds that because of the heavier weight of cars like the Tesla Model Y and Model X, along with the Ford Mach-E, the tires used on EVs are generally worn down a lot faster and create more dust, more emissions, because they're dragging a lot more and creating more smoke and emissions and all that fun stuff. The study by the NCAP, how did I mess that up? The study by the NCAP, he determined that because of the creep, there are 2 factors to EVs that were highlighted by the NCAP. The creation of EVs, which is extremely wasteful and destructive to the earth, and the creation of EVs as well as the EVs themselves. The current only EV you could probably get away with is the Fiat 500, but that just makes sense because it's a tiny little thing. But then again, if it's so tiny, why not just get the 2-cylinder 500? There's also the issue of charging them. The amount of electricity these things uses is ridiculous. Yes, and ultimately the NCAP focused on we should instead be focusing on things like renewable fuel or biofuel or e-fuel, which is something somehow only Porsche is focusing on. Like, why? The most important resource in the history of automobiles is only being focused on by one of the worst companies in automobiles. Why? Lamborghini, Pagani, Ferrari. If y'all want to stay in business, you better start investigating e-fuels along with Porsche. Scum. That also brings us into our next feature, NFTs. NFTs are a thing that have existed for a while and have been a major draw for controversy because of their environmental damage to artists, damage to the internet, damage to the economy, and all around scumminess, as well as scams and fraud. Recent NFT controversies have been about ancient memes being turned into NFTs, such as the Nyan Cat, Doge, and Disaster Girl memes along with Bad Luck Brian and some others. However, recently a lot of car manufacturers have gotten into NFTs. On screen, let's just go through a few of them. As the list goes. Bentley, McLaren, Chevrolet, Pininfarina, Hyundai, Lamborghini, Buick, GMC, Honda, Acura, BMW, Alpine, Nissan, DMC, Volvo, Bugatti, Rolls-Royce, Ferrari, Koenigsegg, Ford, and Alfa Romeo. These are all companies that are currently dealing in NFTs, and as a byproduct, you should not give them your money or buy any of their new cars. One way or another, these companies are doing NFTs. However, the one company I found funny that was not supporting NFTs and actively spoke out against it was Polestar. If any of you know anything about Polestar, you'd know they're an EV company, which I despise. But thankfully, they turn out to be actually pretty based because they make nice-looking cars that are plagued by horrible motors, and also their support against NFTs, so that's pretty neat. The issue with a lot of these companies I just stated is that they're auctioning off NFTs. Chevrolet and Pininfarina made auctions of special NFTs created of their cars. However, in both cases, the auctions failed and did not find any buyers. Lamborghini packaged an NFT in with the final Aventador Ultimate, while GMC, Buick, and Chevrolet NFTs were packaged in as part of the Hot Wheels promotion. Honda and Acura created their own NFTs separately for selling cars, while BMW, well, I don't know. Alpine also did something similar to Chevrolet and Pininfarina, not by selling their own NFTs online. However, they were special concept cars created of the A110 created for the NFT sale. McLaren, in of themselves, entered the metaverse, as stupid as it is with their own 1 of 50 NFT sale. I don't know what it is, but I'm not looking it up. Nissan started NFTs of the GTR Nismo, while DeLorean, well, they were doing NFTs before they even unveiled the new car. I think you should have expected that company would have been bad. Volvo did NFTs of the XC40 hybrid. While Bugatti, I can't even be bothered to read the rest of these because I just despise NFTs with a burning hatred that cannot be matched. It's really stupid. It annoys me when companies just throw out all their morals and even become hypocrites with their environmental pledges just in the pursuit of making money. That is the one thing that annoys me most about NFTs, is that there's no reason to do it other than greed. Pure, unfiltered greed. You don't do NFTs because you want them to you don't want to help your users. You don't make NFTs because you're trying to improve the economy. You do NFTs because you're freaking greedy. You want money, and you want easy money. From scumbags and idiots who don't know how to manage their wallet and have no control and have no impulse control or any kind of reason or logic about what is actually a good idea. This could apply a lot to the rest of crypto, but it just generally boggles my mind that this system is still allowed to exist and still exists even in the modern era where it has been called out by so many people. Well, I have never seen a more unified movement than the anti-NFT movement, which is a great thing because everyone should be against this, but it seems not, because car companies are too busy trying to make an NFT, and then they inevitably bites them in the foot when everyone hates them and stops buying their products because they're using it to funnel more NFTs. Stop doing NFTs! The other day, the Forza Horizon 5 DLC finally came out after half a year of waiting. Hot Wheels from Forza Horizon 3 made a grand return, starring cars such as the Deora 2, the Hennessy Venom F5 at long last, and a bunch of Hot Wheels cars no one cares about. I did play it when it came out, and it was pretty fun. Especially the F5. Finally having that car in Forza Horizon 5 felt amazing. And it's very much worth it. Granted, it is a bit of a slog because they parked the F5 right at the end of the DLC, so you have to complete everything else. It took me around 9 hours too, which was not fun at all. Especially doing the same thing over and over again in increasing difficulty. But overall, Hot Wheels is very fun, and it's a joy to look at, and also snow is a pog. Now, moving on to non-car stuff. Sonic Origins. For those unaware, Sonic Origins is a recent repackaging of the 4 classic Sonic games from the Sega Genesis. Well, 5 if you count Sonic and Knuckles as a separate game. For those uncultured, for the longest time, Sega has strayed away from two things. One, porting the Christian Whitehead remasters of Sonic 1 and 2 to anything other than mobile, and two, porting Sonic 3 and Knuckles, the best game of the bunch, to anything other than PC. This is probably due to a number of reasons, mostly due to a guy named Brad Buxer and Michael Jackson. For those unaware, in Sonic 3, a number of songs, including Ice Cap Zone, Carnival Night, and Launch Base Zone, were co-written by Michael Jackson. Because of that, Sega has been having major copyright issues over the past years trying to re-release these classic versions of Sonic 3. Their most common method usually has been to use the PC versions of the songs, which were replaced with the original prototype music. But that's not gone over well because the Michael Jackson songs are much more memorable than, well, prototype music. Now, you may be looking at this and going, wow, they ported the best versions of these games to every platform? That must be great! You'd be so wrong. The issues with Sonic Origins don't just originate within the game, they originate outside of the game. $40 for a collection of 5 Sega Genesis games. A Sega Genesis Classic costs around $60 US, and that comes packaged with 20 Genesis games in their full. You're telling me that this game alone that has 5 Sonic games costs $40 and wasn't even on... And the deluxe edition with more songs costs $45? The amount of stuff you can buy for $45 instead of Sonic Origins is outstanding. Even worse, because you could have bought all 5 games separately on Steam for less than $45. But not anymore, because with the release of Sonic Origins, all of these classic Sonic games that were included in Origins were delisted from Steam, even other retail places. Except for the Christian Whitehead versions, because they didn't use them. Yeah, they lied about a few things with Sonic Origins. For one, originally they advertised the fact that, oh, it's the Christian Whitehead version of Sonic 1 and 2 coming to consoles and PC. However, when the game actually released, that turned out not to be the case, because this is just Sonic 1 and 2 in widescreen with the drop dash. None of the extra flair that the Christian Whitehead versions had. It's literally just Sonic 1 and 2. And then you get the CD, and, well, it's Sonic CD. There's not anything new about that. And then there's Sonic 3. This could have been the perfect way to play Sonic 3 outside of Sonic 3 Air. Have the full game, finally, on console, in widescreen. But they just had to mess it up one way or another. So originally, the Sonic 3 version of the game was developed by Headcanon. You may know them as the developers behind Sonic Mania. However, according to one of the developers at Headcanon, they were not only cut short of time, but they quickly submitted it before time ran out. Sega not only did that, but also apparently threw away their version of the game and then made their own version of Sonic 3 a few days before release and put it in Sonic Origins. The part of Sonic Origins is absolutely littered to the brim with bugs. It's in classic Sega fashion. On top of this, you can't turn off the drop dash in the game. Why? Like, I get the drop dash is fun, but why is it forced in the game? This becomes even more weird because there's an anniversary mode where it's more focused on being like the Genesis version, but the drop dash is still enabled. Why? Did Sega really look at Sonic 3 Air and go, yes, but we need more drop dash? Even in Sonic CD, where the drop dash isn't supposed to be there, it's still in the game. Sonic 1, Sonic 2, Sonic CD, Sonic 3, you don't want the drop dash? Too bad, you're gonna get it. Knuckles isn't even in Sonic CD, it's literally just Sonic and Tails. And on top of trying to use the Christian Whitehead versions, they somehow managed to make it even worse. Just by removing all the personality from the versions. With the Christian Whitehead version of Sonic 1 and 2, there was so much personality to it. The menus had so much pop and flair, and you could change how the box art looked in-game. Now it's just a boring corporate menu. Just select your character, and that's it. Don't get me started on all the bonus features you paid $5 more for. The main draw of Sonic Origins, outside of the game, was the museum. It was supposed to be a collection of songs and images from Sonic's past. But here's the thing. The images can just be searched up on Google. This isn't like Sonic Gems Collection in 2004 anymore, where you couldn't use Google to find all this stuff. It's 2022. People can just use Google to look up the most obscure Sonic images. The only good thing that came out of this was a few scans from old Sega magazines that we hadn't seen in a while. So that was cool. But then there's the songs. How did they mess this up? The song names are not correct. But yeah, not only did Sonic Origins disappoint fans, not only did it spit in the face of everything Sonic... Oh yeah, and did I mention that Sonic 3 in this game has the prototype music as well? Not only did this game spit in the face of everything Sonic 3 did, not only did this game spit in the face of everything the fans wanted, not only did this game spit all over Sonic's history, it also revealed the greatest details about the next Sonic game. Sonic Frontiers was a game that was revealed alongside Sonic Origins, and it has been previewed as the upcoming Sonic 3D game. And we have not seen the new 3D Sonic game since Sonic Forces in 2017, which, yeah, I can see why we didn't. If you want to be pessimistic, you could say, oh, but Sonic Colors Ultimate happened. But I only count new Sonic games, new Sonic games. Sonic Frontiers was already rumored a long time ago because of 4chan posts detailing major features about Sonic Origins, such as the game playing like Breath of the Wild, and they weren't that far off. But other than that, we didn't know a whole lot about Sonic Frontier until Origins happened. Not only did they find the shaders for Frontiers in the game's files, they also found several of the songs and even models in the game. Why are these in the files? How did Sega mess up this badly? The game hasn't even had extensive previews yet, and we already know everything that it runs on. The game is slated for a release whenever. I don't care to look it up. It's just going to be another bad Sonic game. I warned everyone about Sonic Colors Ultimate a while back. I warned them that it was going to be trash. And it was trash, but I got a lot of crap for saying in advance it was going to be trash. So I'm calling it now. Sonic Frontiers is going to suck, and you can't get back at me if it sucks. If it's good, well, I don't know. I'm just gonna shut up about it if it's good. Anyways, a few weeks ago, Internet Explorer finally died, and I feel like it's worth paying tribute to it. It finally died after over 25 years in service, and it was a noble send-off. On June, whenever, it was finally discontinued as a Microsoft product, and it no longer will receive support. Anyways, Minecraft Legends. This is a new Minecraft game that was announced during E3 2022. I don't like this one. I don't get why Microsoft keeps thinking that we want Minecraft spin-offs. We don't want Minecraft spin-offs, we want Minecraft! Minecraft Dungeons was a game that was alright at its core, but never anything spectacular to play. Like, I'm not gonna turn on my Xbox just to play Minecraft Dungeons. I'd rather just play regular Minecraft. That's what Minecraft is all about. And I feel like a lot of people had that same mentality because Dungeons absolutely crashed after the first week. I can barely find anyone still talking about Dungeons, while I can still find tons of people talking about Minecraft. Well, Microsoft decided that a shot in the dark wasn't enough, so they shot again with Minecraft Legends. From what it seems like it's an RPG that has building aspects. I could be wrong about that, but I don't like this one either. Just stop trying to make more Minecraft and just make more Minecraft. And then there's 1.20. Oh! Minecraft 1.20 is an upcoming version of Minecraft. It's the part 2 to part 1.19, which was supposed... 1.19 was the whatever update. I don't really enjoy 1.19. I haven't enjoyed the update since 1.17. It just, you know. The major controversy surrounding 1.20 is the upcoming chat reporting and banning feature. This has not been well received at all, especially the feature of banning, where you can be banned from all public or you can be banned from all of multiplayer forever. Not just private servers, public servers, not just public servers, private servers too. Minecraft Realms, all of it, on Java Edition. This has long been a sticking point with several people who warned about... I'll admit, I should have listened more when they warned about account migration last year, about how it was going to lead to bad stuff. And it has. I really don't like this change. And I feel like a lot of people don't either, because this has been a major sticking point now on the Minecraft community, and Mojang doesn't seem to care that much because they're still implementing it. So yeah, Minecraft might die sometime soon if this keeps going on. This episode is getting quite long, so I'd like to end it with one topic that makes me very happy. The great crash of crypto. Recently, there has been a major cryptocurrency crash in both Bitcoin, Ethereum, and other cryptocurrencies, and it's made me very, very happy. GPU prices are finally going down after a long period of time due to decreased crypto mining, and overall, it seems to be a sunny future for the end of crypto. Hopefully, this prices keeps going down, and we can finally see the death of a horrible idea that should have never happened. And with that, I conclude this episode of my podcast. Stay tuned for future episodes, maybe happening this year. I don't know. I'll see you on the flip side.